So our next topic is someone asked a question on X. Genuine question for anyone that plays fighting games competitively. How important do you think enjoying the character you play is? Do you think it's worth playing characters you don't like playing because they are good or top tier? Or do you think enjoying the character you play helps you perform better because you enjoy the game more? At what point does it become detrimental to your chances of even being competitive? How low are you allowed to go? Do you really think it's important that you should play characters that you like when playing competitively? Or do you think it's okay just to go, top tier when you're playing competitively? I believe that people have to kind of change the way they think about it. When it comes to, it's kind of like business, you know. Like Devin is a great graphic designer, and Devin loves doing like his personal style of graphic design. He has his own way of doing things. He has the type of graphic design that's fun for him. But when you get into business, the people who's paying him money might be people that say, "Hey, make my church flyers. We'll pay you $2,000 a week." You know, and it's just like, well, this isn't necessarily like what I like to do. What's the most fun? But at the end of the day, at least I'm living doing graphic design. And I'm not, at McDonald's, busting in a double shift, trying to make sure kids get their chicken nuggets. So, it's like I just enjoy that. And then like in my leisure time, my free time, I'm trying to, build and keep doing the things that I love to do, that one day eventually I'll be able to get more opportunities and stuff in that. Kind of like, like what I do a lot of photo, video, media management, social media management. The stuff that I love to do is not necessarily the stuff that people are paying me to survive. You work with a lot of real estate agents and stuff like that. But if I had it my way, I do fighting games the whole time. You know, but that's not necessarily the point of where I'm at. So it's basically the same thing. And like, I feel like with playing competitively, like separate the two. When it comes to like competitive, money's on the line, and I'm trying to win something, I have a character or two for that. And if it's I'm just playing for leisure, for fun with my friends, while hanging out, I ain't worried about playing the characters that I don't necessarily really like to play. I play the characters that I have fun with, especially if you're somebody who's trying to like make a living out of like, I mean, I just don't understand why you're not, if you're trying to make a living out of this. I mean, you have the tools are right here to build the house the way you want to, and you got these new equipment. It basically do everything for you efficiently and stuff like that. And you're like, no, I just want to take the hammer old school and beat it for like 5 hours. It's like, well, you basically shooting yourself in the foot if you're just gonna do it the less efficient way, especially if you saying you're trying to do this for money, for pay, competitively, for a lifestyle. I mean, separate the two. This is what I do when I'm trying to win a tournament, and this is what I do to play the game for fun. That's what I do. But and I understand it can be a little bit difficult because fighting games at the end of the day is for your entertainment. But when you start bringing in competitive, I mean, we trying to win, ain't it? Or what we
Hey
doing?
man, hey man, tell this snake eyes, man.
So I mean, yeah, you might be somebody like Snake Eyes who just like, has gotten his character so down and so good that, he's placing high and stuff like that. But it's a reason why you're not seeing that at all the major tournaments. It's a reason. So, I'm sure most of these top players, if they played people that they felt like were fun, they wouldn't be placing as high as they were. So I mean, Mena RD, I'm sure like basically at this point everybody hate Luke, but it's like, shoot, I mean, what I'm gonna do? Lose? Let him pick Luke and body me? No, I mean, I can't. I flew all the way to Saudi Arabia for the check. I didn't fly away to Saudi Arabia because it was cool or it's fun. Like I wasn't going on vacation. I came to win a tournament. So that's just separate business and pleasure. That's my take on it. But what do
Mm,
I know? People go say I ain't placed nothing. I don't play nothing. You ain't nothing but a nappy head bird
right,
nest,
right,
ugly trash,
right.
no opinion having, dweeb, or as Eve would say, a pleb. So, just why are you talking? But I
I
just
forget pathetic.
that one too. We got a shield of the community here. Me, I'm a what the dude tell me? Like I got a entitlement mentality. You know, we just some misfits here. On the internet giving like opinions on stuff we don't know nothing about. So take it with a grain of salt. So anybody else got anything to add?
Oh my goodness.
Well, I know what side of the fence I'm on with this one. It's not even. It's a no brainer for me. It's like you just mentioned.
Kelly.
No, I'm definitely not on the just pick a top tier. I'm not on that. I'm not on that side. Me personally, I pick who I like, man. I just when I come into a fighting game, I'm already looking, especially a new fighting game. I'm already looking at the characters. Let's take Street Fighter 6 for example. I looked at the characters when they got leaked, and the characters that caught my attention were Kimberly, because I love Guy. I'm like, okay, his protege, and JP. JP just looked cool. I'm like, man, he got this mystery behind him. He also has this cane, so like, is he gonna be like another character that has like a weapon in Street Fighter? And Aki, because I was a FANG main in 5. So those are 3 characters that stuck out to me. Game come out, or the beta I played Kimberly, I liked her, and I thought, man, I really want to try JP though. I tried JP and I liked him. And I know probably everybody was, oh, you only like JP because no, I like JP because he was cool. I liked the way he worked. I like his buttons. I liked his just like he was kind of one of those slower characters, like his walk speed wasn't the greatest, but he kind of had some screen control. He had a great anti-air game with like crouch and heavy punch, which has been nerfed now. I haven't since I've been playing Ed, I haven't tried him as much now, but I like the character. And he just happened to also be really good. It's like, oh, that's great. But I enjoy playing that character. And some people say, oh, you just play top tiers. Well, I just mentioned that I played Fong. Like, Fong was literally the only reason I kept playing Street Fighter 5. Fong and G. Those are my 2 favorite characters in that game. And if they had not been in the game, it was a point where I just stopped playing Street Fighter 5. I'm like, I don't really think I'm feeling this game as much. And I would come back to it. I'm like, man, I really enjoy playing Fong. And he was like, if not one of the worst characters in the game. I also believe in Street Fighter, if Fong was as he was in Street Fighter 5, if they put him in Street Fighter 6, I think he'd be like top 5. If you think about his tool set with Drive Rush, oh, he'd be ridiculous. With Drive Rush and Drive Impact, the traps on the screen, the arcing fireballs, being able to slide out the fireball, he'd be busted. But yeah, I definitely think that, to me personally, I have to enjoy the character, and it makes me play better. Like, even if I'm playing a character that's trash, like, people like, I would play Fong. People like, man, you really play this character? You like yeah. And they like, man, you pretty good. I like the character. I know it's a struggle because he's not the greatest. I can just pick some other character, but I like this character. Going to Marvel, Rexon just mentioned Marvel. I remember when Marvel 3 was hot. This is when I was still in college. I was playing against one of my fighting game buds, Timothy Walton. I ain't seen this guy in a while, and I don't think I played against him in a while either. But we was playing Marvel, and Timothy always plays the good stuff, usually in fight games, from what I remember. So in Marvel, he was playing. It was like Zero Magneto Sentinel, or something like that. It was Zero and it was on the team, and my main team was Spider-Man X-23 Dante. I played the tournaments with this team. Did fairly well with this team. But I remember he told me one day, he's like, man, I think you'd be a lot better this game if you just switch to a better character. Like, and it almost made me kind of a little tilted me a little bit. I'm like, nah, man, I ain't doing it. I'm sticking with Peter Parker, man. It's like, I'm sticking with Lauren, man. Like, I don't know. It was just like, you want me to play better characters? No, I don't know, but I enjoy those characters. Like Spider-Man. Spider-Man was okay. I played him in Vanilla Marvel. He was okay, but he got a lot better in Ultimate. His cool web throw loops, he was just so cool. Like the ultimate web throw setups in the corner. Like Spider-Man could do. He had some dirt. Now, what he mentioned was like, why play certain characters? Like, why Spider-Man's like maybe B tier. Some are B minus to B plus tier, right? But it's like, why play Spider-Man when you can just bionic gun? So that was the thing. Is like, why play Spider-Man when I can just play Spencer? Oh, he swings too, but he hits a lot harder. He got like a one frame super, I believe it was one frame, like super fast. crazy damage. He had an unscaled move. If he did his up zip, it was 80k unscaled. It didn't matter where it was in the combo. So you do like 3-4 of those. That's 3,200. That's 320,000 damage. That's like a third of most characters' life bar just unscaled just from doing like. So it's like, why play Spider-Man and do all these loops and have to gun his execution? Why not just play Spencer? You know. So it's just one of those things where it's just like, man, I just can't play a character that's top tier because they're top tier. I have to actually like them. I've even tried it before, and sometimes I've had some decent results, but I'm like, man, I just ain't feeling this character, man. Like when you put so much time and effort into a character and learn them, figure out their nuances. And another thing with playing characters that aren't the greatest, sometimes people just don't know how to play against those characters because they overlook them. Oh, they character trash, and then you run into somebody and get body. Like, man, okay, man, I might have to actually learn what this character does. So that's sometimes it's a big knowledge check. You go to a tournament, somebody just don't know how to play against a character. Like, oh, that character sucks. It's like, okay, well, I don't suck. Maybe the character sucks, but I don't. And now you just got body. Like, well, maybe I have to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah,
So yeah, I just
Mina RD had a tough time with Broski at I think it was Red Bull Kumite because he was playing
yeah,
Aki
well, Aki.
and
Yeah,
didn't nobody really go up against Aki. So it's like, all right, what am I here? What are we
yeah.
doing?
So when you face a lesser known, a lesser played, lesser lower tier character versus somebody that's really good with them, it's like, okay, think the stakes kind of change a little bit. Even Dragon Ball Fighters, I was playing Zamasu before he ever got to where he was. Zamasu, people consider Zamasu was garbage, but I loved that character, and I had a team that really worked with him. This was before Double Supers got nerfed, and I had a team. I was doing really well with the team, and then they just made Zamasu like almost the best character in the game at one point. He was just like, and I kind of like didn't really want to play him anymore because I was like, man, nobody liked this character, and all of a sudden he just get buffed to the moon and back here. But oh, Zamasu, he's in the game. I forgot he was in the game. You know, Street Fighter 4. Everybody was like, DJ. He's like, who's DJ? Oh, he's on the character. Oh, I didn't even see him on the character select screen. That was like a running joke for a long time. He's not on the character select screen. He doesn't exist in this game. And then you fight somebody who knows how to play DJ. It's like, oh, maybe I might have to learn this character's matchup because I just got bodied by this character that's apparently not in the game. So if you love playing the character so much, you will find ways to make up for their lack of top tieredness and make it work.
you for me, like it's always been the same. I've always gone with like what character I think is the coolest, and that's the only way I stay like invested. Like that's the only way I'm going to play your game is if I find a character that I like and I'm going to like be invested in. That's just the like even right now I love Tekken. Like Tekken is like one of my favorite fighting game franchises. Not fighting, but just like since I was a kid, always been one of my favorites. But I'm not playing Tekken as much right now because I don't have a character that I like to play as much. Like they haven't announced or even mentioned Miguel yet, and I think Miguel's like my favorite like Tekken character. So it's kind of messed up. I'm
Same
like,
here.
huh?
I said same here.
Yeah. See, there you go. Like it's. I tried playing Azucena, and I like Azucena. I just I didn't feel that freedom of I didn't feel the freedom I thought that I felt like with Miguel with Azucena. I'm not sure how to actually say that. I'm not sure how to express that properly. But I felt something akin to that playing as Lee Chaolan. So I've been playing with Lee, and I've really enjoyed like playing with Lee because number one, he's a cool character in general. Like that, he's just a cool character, and it's real interesting. He's a character that's allowed me to stay invested with Tekken for stay invested all the way up until the point when Ed got released in Street Fighter 6. So for those of you who don't know, in Street Fighter 5, I was an Ed main from the moment he dropped. I was like, oh man, this is the character I want to play. He's so cool. I'm gonna play Ed. And back in Street Fighter 5, not a whole lot of most people didn't really like that character. I'm not sure why, but people didn't really like Ed. So, when Ed was coming back in in this game, most people just were kind of like, yo, I don't care about Ed. When's Akuma coming out? Where's Akuma? I don't care about Ed. And then Ed dropped. Now everybody wants to play Ed. Johnny come latelys, man. So, and like the thing about it is that whether or not Ed was good or like he's good, but if he was bad, I still would have played him because that's the character I wanted to play. Like it doesn't matter. Like that, and I think like sometimes you'll end up trying to choose the character who you think is the coolest, and you'll make like a terrible decision, and you'll end up choosing like the worst character in the roster, like the absolute worst of the worst, bottom tier character, that's in the game. Like I remember I used to in Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. This wasn't like the worst character, but he's close. Um, Sean. Sean was so bad in that game. Like in Third Strike, he just wasn't that good. And in order to make him work, like there were times where I would just beat people and they'd be like, bro, like I thought that character was trash. And I'm like, well, he is, but I'm doing just enough stuff to make him work to beat you. Like I'm doing just enough because I'm invested playing the character no matter how bad he is. I'm still invested. So I'm going to try to make this work somehow. Going back to what Mr. Game and Lift was talking about, about the whole matchup knowledge thing, like playing Tekken, like with Miguel, like he's a good character, but like there are definitely characters in the game who are a lot better than he is. But the thing is, there's a move in the game, I think it's like Tortuga, I think, and it's down back one. And he basically just crouches down and then just sweeps you off your feet with his hand. Now, most of the time, people aren't going to get hit by that. You would think that people aren't going to get hit by it because it's so slow. But man, I used to catch people off guard with that move all the time. Even if they weren't doing anything, even if they were just standing there blocking, I would just go down and I would just sweep them off their feet and then, do like, was it rising four, down four. It's like down four into 1+2 for the headbutt. Like
Yep.
that's Miguel, man. And you catch people like asleep at the wheel because they don't know they haven't seen that move enough for their brain to make the connection. I need to block low right now. So yeah, that goes into the matchup thing, but that comes from just sticking with the character that you like. I mean, there's going to be difficulties if you choose like a character that you like that's a low tier, but sometimes you hit the jackpot and you end up choosing like a character who's either mid tier or really good. Like in BlazBlue, I thought I was going to be playing like Bang Shishigami or Ragnar the Blood Edge or something like that. I didn't end up playing either of those guys. I was like, I didn't like the play style of Ragnar because it was going in the Saul bad guy direction without actually being Saul bad guy. So, and then Bang, I was just kind of like, I thought I was going to be playing, I don't know why I thought this. I thought I was going to be playing something more akin to Chip, and I was like, oh, okay, you know what? I need to get out of my mind. This is not Guilty Gear. So then the character I ended up settling on was Arakune, back in was it Calamity Trigger? And back in Calamity Trigger, for those of you who don't know, Arakune was a problem. He was top 3 easy, one of the best characters in the game. And there would be times where I would just especially with when you got the curse on people, and back then, if you got the curse on somebody, now, if you get a curse on somebody and they hit you, it immediately dissipates. But back then, once that curse gauge was full, you had to wait for it to go all the way down for you to lose the curse. And man, that was problematic. People hated that character so much. And people, we would be this is on Xbox 360, you go into a party. For some reason, now looking back on it, I'm like, it's ill-advised to join the party of the person that you're fighting on Xbox 360. Bad idea, because they will call you everything but a child of God for playing playing a character like Arakune. They really will. They will tell you all sorts of things about yourself that you never heard, call you all types of ridiculous names, you just have to bleep out the whole conversation because it's so horrible. And it's just I didn't go on and research this. I just chose the character I like. So sometimes it's really good. But going back to the original point, I believe that you should play the character that you like as opposed to the character who's top tier or whatever, because from my perspective, I don't see how you're going to enjoy yourself. I don't see how, unless the only goal you have is winning, okay, fine. But I'm trying to enjoy myself playing the game, and that's the way I enjoy the game, is by getting invested in cool characters. So yeah, that is my take.
Well, it's Mr. Amazing. I think the point of joining a competitive venture is to win. So